The government's effort to highlight its under-16 social media ban is being overshadowed. The communications minister facing scrutiny over the six-figure price tag of her recent trip to New York.
A ministerial mission to the Big Apple, leaving taxpayers to cover a tab topping $100,000.
When Australians are facing a cost of living crisis, they don't want to find out that federal Labor ministers are spending $35,000 travelling to and from New York, and that is just the minister's airfares.
Anika Wells and two staff travelled to the UN General Assembly in September to promote Australia's world-first social media ban for under-16s. According to the government, airfares alone came to $94.8 thousand Australian dollars. Accommodation was just under $12,000 US, and ground transport cost a further $4,000 US.
How do you justify spending this amount of taxpayers' dollars?
Well, the reason you know all those things is because we're transparent about them, and we will disclose them, and we'll continue to disclose information about that trip through the usual processes. That trip was undertaken as the Minister for Communications, and I would think the people who were there for that UN event who join us in this room today would agree with me that it was incredibly important. That event fueled a global momentum in this space.
You don't think that was expensive for airfares? Over $94,000?
I've answered your question.
Treasurer Jim Chalmers is defending the minister.
Does that pass the pub test?
Now, this is official travel. It's within the guidelines. It's about representing Australia on an issue where the world is listening to us on these social media restrictions to help protect our kids online. People will make judgments about the cost of it, but from my point of view, a very, very important trip. Very important way to represent Australia on the world stage. Official travel consistent with the guidelines.
The scrutiny is cutting into the government's messaging ahead of the ban's rollout, a campaign meant to focus on parents and their children.
I'm so incredibly proud of being Australian. It is enormous and the world's watching.
The government insists the onus is firmly on big tech. Once the ban begins, social media companies will have one day to report how many under-16 accounts they've removed, followed by regular updates for at least 6 months. The rules will initially apply to 10 platforms, with any new service used to avoid the ban added to the list. Google, the parent company of YouTube, says, as we have consistently said, this rushed regulation misunderstands our platform and the way young Australians use it. Most importantly, this law will not fulfil its promise to make kids safer online and will in fact make Australian kids less safe on YouTube.
With one law, we can protect Generation Alpha from being sucked into purgatory.
The government remaining optimistic about the ban's long-term benefits, seemingly eager to leave the argument over travel costs behind.